1160. And our Indiana County Commissioners in the studio with us this morning. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. And Commissioner Shireen Hess, Commissioner Robin Gorman, Commissioners Chairman Mike Keith, all with us. Who's hitting leadoff today?
She's in a pretty blue.
Good. Shireen gets to go because she's in pretty blue today. How about that, Shireen? You didn't know that was a criteria.
Good morning.
Did you?
I did not. Oh, gosh.
All right. So county commissioners and county business, of course, on the agenda for us today. What is this? This is after the meeting. You met last week, didn't you?
We did meet last week.
Yeah. Sometimes I sort of get confused about when meeting time is coming.
It's
up
all
next.
a blur.
Yeah,
most of the time.
It all runs together. It's budget season. And the county involved in a number of different things. What's on your list of things to talk about today?
Well, the county we continue to work on economic development, take care of our people with our human services, workforce. We have job fairs coming up. There is lots of development going on. We all were at the NVI ribbon cutting last week. And it was thrilling to see that facility now has students and instruction going on. And NVI stands for New Village Initiative. And I was doing a little bit of research, and they are really have quite a few other activities and initiatives going on dealing with sustainable technologies. And they have a concrete technology that they're working on, and a number of other things related to green energy and building supplies, using building supplies to build sustainably. So it's just the beginning, I think, for NVI here. But Blairsville is their first technical institute, so that 20-some acre campus down there is the first for this great company that's come to Indiana.
They are, of course, doing diesel there, working on diesel engines. One of the interesting things to me about them and just using them as an example for other companies that come to town, sometimes we think, okay, they're here, we can just let them do what they want to do, and I'm sure that they'll be fine and stay in business. It's not always the case. Not only the county, but the residents, everybody else. It requires work to keep companies here once they get here, doesn't it?
Well, it does, and the other commissioners can certainly speak to it. But not only do we have to attract new business, we have to retain the businesses that we have, and that takes support from all sorts of corners of the arena. So, we're real happy about that.
Robin just pointed over to Mike, so Mike, evidently you're supposed to address this next.
Well, one of the things about NVI that I think that they're fortunate is, Wyotech really wasn't that far out there as far as, so they retained a lot of their instructors that Wyotech had, which was fortunate because they could just walk right through the door and just pick up from basically where they left off at. And so talking to some of those instructors down there last week, they were actually, you could see a smile on their face. They were happy to be back.
Yeah. And one of the interesting things about that is Wyotech didn't just hand over the keys. They didn't lock the door one day, hand over the keys, and then the next day NVI opened up. There was a period of time when those people could have gone to work anywhere else.
Right. And a lot of them did, but fortunately, again, they stayed within Indiana County, and were able to actually walk through the door for NVI and pick up again, like I said, where the pieces were left off.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very important, Robin, to keep businesses that come here in business and do whatever we can, as Shireen said, to support them in whatever way is possible.
Yeah, she hit the nail on the head, and it is in NVI, the institute that has located here, and they're up and running with classes, but in their plan from the beginning has been to hopefully start a manufacturing part to this as well as they phase in, and that would incorporate some of the new technologies and things locally that are beginning to with the biodigester plant and some renewable energy. So it's very exciting, and we hope, right, that they come here with one thing and then another and expand. We, of course, everywhere in our existing businesses, the new, it was a fun event. They did it very well. So I applaud them. But we have committed ourselves to services and support networks. And don't just contact us let's keep in touch. We don't want to hear when, something's really at the wall or something's happening. We want to hear as they're going, what are their needs? What are they short of? What can we do to help and support to keep them here? Workforce right now doesn't seem to be an issue as far as in some sectors. So we're hearing things from Urban that they actually love this location because they have good quality workers, and it doesn't seem to be as a struggle here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that it's not, but as in some other locations of their business. We obviously are all feeling a pickup, as in we really feel like at the end of last year and this year, or maybe it's the good weather coming, I don't know, but people are really getting busy. And they are focused on getting back to work and at full throttle. And I don't want to miss, because last week was a great week for us, the new cafe, Riziki, at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, that's got a special story with 4 women. They are using the coffee from Uganda, and they are giving many of their proceeds back to help them and other issues in that country. So it's just really some cool stories of some really cool new things.
Yeah.
And like you said, we need to, it all works together with our existing businesses as well.
Well, playing off of that, we had Karen Wolf in here last week talking about it. And the interesting thing to me is that people are confident enough to open a coffee shop at the airport. Which means that there's actually activity at the airport that would draw customers in, not only from around that area who work there, but there are people flying into Indiana. And Karen told the story of somebody who was going to be flying in. They phoned in the order, or however they might have done it by email or Instagram, however they did it. But they got the order in, said, we're going to be here. We're landing at such and such a time. Here's our order. And Mike, I know that you'd love to get that kind of action happening at the airport with all of the different businesses that fly people in. And it talks about airport expansion. It talks about airport facilities and the healthy economy here in Indiana County.
And that's what we're actually been currently working on for the past year and a half is a new master plan for the airport. It's a 20-year master plan, and with a master plan, you've got to look in the future. Looking in the future, think of different things that possibly could happen. And you incorporate all that in the plan, and you start working towards that direction. Not only that, you start building the facility towards that direction. And, I know a lot of people have, a lot of comments and everything about Indiana County Airport, but really, after paying attention to its activities and businesses, it has picked up. And we actually are looking for different ways of driving revenue out at the airport to start actually bringing itself, to a higher quality, to a better part of life. And I would say that the airport has expanded, and it's getting bigger. And so Let's look at it in the future. There's a lot of good things that are going to happen. Yeah,
and it's going to be interesting to watch the development of that whole corridor around the airport as companies establish themselves there. And who knows, that could be an eastward expansion that would be very, very welcome here in Indiana County. Okay, so I'll just throw it open to the three of you. What about county business do people need to know here this morning?
Todd, can I just play off of, I want to take the airport a little farther, because our director out there, Rick Fulner, and his advisory board is amazing. And working with our planning director and just integrating all of that in. But we're really focused, or they've been focused, on a younger generation, both with the flight school, which is imperative, right, for aviation, engineering, all of those STEM occupations ahead of us. So they're trying with the new playground that would be coming, but they're trying to attract families and young people for the interest in the future of the airport expansion and aviation. So we're meeting, I think, next week or the week after with the superintendents, with Bridget Matson from the IU-28's help, with the Career and Technology Center and Mike McDermott. So there's a whole host of people working together to make an aviation curriculum in our schools available, plus the hands-on application at our own airport. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll just dive in and let my folks end, but I want to give a shout out to our Indiana County Humane Society. There was an article recently on the front page about some real what I would call just yeoman's efforts that were made on their part to take care of and help a situation where there was a death. And it is amazing how overnight or in hours you can be thrown into a massive situation that you really got to figure out, like, on your feet and just call the shots in minutes. And then with an existing network around them, with our directors, our emergency management, our coroner, he is just amazing. All of these things sort of you don't like to talk about, but somebody has to do it and get it done. But we say it a lot, but we mean it. We have an amazing staff across our service sector at the county level. So I just want to give a shout out to all of them because they do great work every day. They're pulling. I talked to my human services director yesterday, and times are tough. You know, people are worn out. They're tired. They're coming back from COVID. They want to recover. And now we've got inflation and high prices and, you know, the mileage that it takes to get to work and then just go back at it again. So I just want to give them a big shout out. We really appreciate everything they do in the county.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just amazing work. And we get those folks in here and talk with them once a month as well. What else, fellow commissioners? What's going on?
I just wanted to mention that, you know, we talk about human services and the opioid settlement has happened. And we're very pleased about that. And we got a note from our organization about the fact that, you know, the distributors and J&J announced that they're going to move forward with that settlement. And now the next steps are coming, and that includes the establishment of a board of trustees. And each region gets a say in that board of trustees. And we're just want people to know that the opioid epidemic is still with us. We are still feeling those effects of that, but we are here. We're very dedicated to using that money to help people recover from that and also move forward so that we can, you know, help those folks and, you know, help our communities. Yeah, so I just wanted to say that's happening.
Once you visit with the DA, as I do once a month here on Indiana in the Morning and others, and talk about that situation, that's something that never gets easier. It's a difficult thing, and you have to deal with families that are just as shocked as everybody else that something happens within that context. And so great work being done across the county. Mike.
Well, spring's around the corner, I hope. After this weekend, I wasn't sure. But as we're getting into spring, into the construction season, I just let you know that there's some major construction projects that the county is actually going to be doing here shortly with its facilities, the courthouse, out at our jail, and also over at our planning office. So like I said before, you know, the roof was leaking and we're starting to fix it. So that's what we're into. So yeah, that also, I mean, the everyday things have to happen too.
Yeah, everyday maintenance is amazing. And you mentioned the jail. We're all thinking, I just remember it just opened, didn't it? It's been there a while though.
Yes.
It's amazing how time flies by, and a brand new facility is all of a sudden you say, well, it's been there 20-some years now, and it's time to do some upgrades. Yeah. Just amazing. Well, our county commissioners join us once a month. We're glad that you did today. Thank you all.
Thank you, Todd.
Thanks, Todd.